You are listening to Bedtime Dreamy Tales. Please make sure you have subscribed to our channel for new story. Story title, The Skilful Huntsman. Once upon a time, in a realm that lay beyond the common path and nestled in the folds of ancient hills, there lived a young locksmith named Lucas. His life was interwoven with the familiar clinks and clanks of his father's workshop, where the creation of intricate locks and keys was more than a livelihood, it was an art. Yet, within Lucas, there burned a flame of curiosity, a desire to explore the world beyond the comforting yet confining walls of his village. One crisp morning, with the courage that comes from the heart of youth, Lucas announced his intention to seek his fortune in the wild world. His father, a man of few words but deep feelings, listened with a blend of pride and sorrow. After a moment of heavy silence, he gave Lucas a small purse of coins, the weight of his blessing heavier than gold. Whispering with a voice thick with emotion, he said, "May your journey bring you wisdom and joy." Lucas's journey took him through bustling towns and whispering forests, each step on the cobblestone or earth a step into the unknown. He sought work as a locksmith, but the art that once captured his fascination now fell stale, unable to quench his thirst for adventure. It was a restless spirit that grew within him, an insatiable hunger for something more. It was during a chance encounter on a leaf-strewn path, where the air was thick with the promise of rain and adventure, that Lucas's life veered onto a new path. He met a huntsman, a man clad in garments the color of the deep forest, with eyes that sparkled with the thrill of the chase. Lucas, entranced by the very idea of hunting, the blend of skill, patience, and thrill it promised, implored the huntsman to take him as an apprentice. Seeing a spark in Lucas that reminded him of his own youthful daring, the huntsman agreed. Thus began Lucas's transformation from a master locksmith to a skillful huntsman, adept in the silent dance of the bow and arrow, and the whispering language of the wild. Armed with a remarkable air rifle, a parting gift from the huntsman, Lucas ventured deeper into a vast forest. It was a place of ancient whispers, where the trees stood so tall and thick that the concept of an end seemed as fanciful as the stories of giants and dragons. As night wrapped the woods in a cloak of darkness, Lucas sought refuge atop a tall tree, safeguarding himself from the unseen beasts that roamed below. Midnight unveiled a sight as curious as it was illuminating a flickering light in the distance, like a beacon calling to him. With the cleverness born of necessity, Lucas tossed his hat toward the light, creating a path through the dense thicket. His journey led him to a clearing where an astonishing scene unfolded before his eyes. 3 giants, their forms massive and imposing, sat beside a roaring fire, roasting an ox on a spit as if it were no larger than a chicken. In an audacious display of marksmanship and courage, Lucas knocked the meat from the giant's grasp with precise, impossible shots. His actions, rather than inciting rage, earned the giant's respect and a peculiar request: to rescue a princess imprisoned in a tower across a great lake, guarded by a small but alarmingly alert dog. With his skills honed and the magical air rifle by his side, Lucas accepted the giant's quest. Stealthily, he crossed the lake under the cloak of darkness, silencing the guard dog with a shot that was as quiet as it was precise. Inside the tower, Lucas discovered not just the princess, but also artifacts of great power: a silver sword engraved with the king's name, promising victory against any foe, and a cloak of invisibility that shimmered with the light of its own. Yet, it was the sight of the sleeping princess, her face serene in the moonlight, and the personal items bearing her name that stirred a noble resolve within Lucas. Rather than delivering her to the giants as promised, Lucas devised a plan to save her and the kingdom from their menace. He tricked the giants into a trap at the tower's entrance, where, with the enchanted sword and his newfound skills, he defeated them, thus securing the princess's safety and the kingdom's future. With the giants vanquished, Lucas returned to the king's palace, not with the pomp of a conqueror, but in humble anonymity. Meanwhile, the princess, due to a peculiar decree from her father, lived a simple life in a modest hut in the forest, offering meals to travelers. This odd decree stemmed from a misunderstanding and a desire to protect her from the world's dangers. Fate, with its inscrutable design, led Lucas to her doorstep, where a spark of recognition ignited between hero and princess, united by the tokens Lucas had wisely taken from the tower. Together, they returned to the kingdom, revealing the truth to the king through the tokens and the giants' tongues as proof of Lucas's valor. The deceitful captain, who had falsely claimed the deed, was brought to justice. The king, overjoyed by the return of his daughter and the revelation of her savior, gave his blessing for their marriage. Lucas and the princess wed in a grand ceremony that celebrated not only their courage and love but also marked the beginning of a reign filled with prosperity and peace. Lucas, now a king beloved by all, was remembered not only for his feats of bravery but for the wisdom, compassion, and the indomitable spirit of adventure that guided his rule. If you like this story, please give this video a like and comment below with your thoughts. See you in the next story.